And now, as promised, the premiere of a new regular segment here, our number one story tonight's WTF moment. It is not that she is wrong on the issue, though she is. One thing all sides can agree on, there are many wrong on the issue of gay marriage. Also, there is one fact that has completely vanished from the Carrie Prejean experience. She was asked. She didn't just stand up there at the Miss USA pageant and cut off Perez Hilton in the middle of a question about breast implants or nuclear fission and start shouting, "I only believe in opposite marriage." She was asked. But this is no longer about her opinion, it's about her. It's about the amazing, holier-than-thou, know-it-allism that she has exuded from the moment the question was asked, right through every complaint about how she was being unfairly paraded on the public stage as the evildoers foisted news conference after news conference onto her, and the anti-gay marriage group she joined, and as the evil left-wing media forced her to do interview after interview with the likes of Dr. James Dobson.
I felt as though Satan was trying to tempt me and asking me this question, and then God was in my head and in my heart saying, "Carrie, do not compromise this. You need to stand up for me. You need to share with all these people. If there were 95% of the people in the audience that were gay, you need to witness to them."
God and Satan battling it out for the future of freedom of speech inside the head of St. Carrie of La Jolla. Where exactly, Carrie, were God and Satan when the Miss California people came to you and offered to pay for you to alter your God-given body with breast implants so you stood a better chance of getting what amounts to a better job inside the Donald Trump Miss Whatever company? Where exactly, St. Carrie, were God and Satan when you posed in only your panties as a teenager and didn't know the photographer with the camera and all the lights might be, I don't know, a photographer? Where exactly, St. Carrie, were God and Satan when, incredibly enough, the same exact thing happened again and another evil photographer took hidden surveillance photos of you without your consent and without the express written consent of the Commissioner of Baseball?
While I don't know who released the photos from this morning, I do know who released the photos that were actually just released as of a few hours ago. And I find it appalling that a professional photographer would violate my trust by releasing an unauthorized and inappropriate image taken in between pose shots on a windy day, which I was unaware of.
Which were you unaware of? The windy day, or the photographs, or the photographer? And imagine this, somebody in the modeling business violating somebody else's trust. And St. Carrie, in the unauthorized and inappropriate image taken in between posed shots, you're looking right at the camera twice. And exactly what was up with that wind? Windy enough to get a reaction from part of your body, but not windy enough to move your hair significantly? That's some kind of wind. Satan's wind. Your grandfather fought against that wind at the Battle of the Bulge.
My grandfather served under General Patton during World War II. He never spoke about the Battle of the Bulge that he participated in as a rifleman. On April 19th, on that stage, I exercised my freedom of speech, and I was punished for doing so. This should not happen in America. It undermines the constitutional rights for which my grandfather fought for.
Thank you for bringing us back to the two cruxes here. Firstly, you were not exercising your freedom of speech during the Miss USA pageant. Your freedom of speech, my freedom of speech, has nothing to do with something as crassly commercial as a beauty pageant, nor as crassly commercial as Donald Trump. On April 19th, you were an employee of USA Inc., of Donald Trump Inc. Unless you have a written contract guaranteeing you carte blanche, and nobody does, the pageant people also have the right to take that right away from you at any moment, just as MSNBC, NBC, or GE could take away this industrial version of free speech I'm utilizing right now. By the way, about that, don't. This, St. Carrie of La Jolla, is exactly what your freedom of speech, what my freedom of speech consists of, in its entirety. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of the speech, or of the press, or of the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. No more, no less. I'm sorry, but your grandfather did not fight to protect your right to answer a question during a network television soft porn special without consequences or fallout. And he did not fight to protect my right to criticize you on TV either. He fought to protect you from having the government stop us from speaking our minds. If you want to extend that to protecting you from having your employers stop you from speaking your mind, I advise you to join an entirely different political action committee. Because if your National Organization for Marriage suddenly decides that people with breast implants also shouldn't be allowed to get married, and for some reason you disagree with them, they won't have to honor your freedom of speech either. Now, the other part. Let's listen to the second half of that last answer again.
On April 19th, on that stage, I exercised my freedom of speech, and I was punished for doing so.
First of all, crying in a beauty pageant? There's no crying in beauty pageants. But how exactly were you punished? The Miss California people say you were entered into that contest under false pretenses. They claim you're in breach of contract, that you posed semi-nude and more semi-nude while claiming you hadn't. They say you violated the rules by joining a political organization, and they say you have not been showing up for your contractually obligated appearances as Miss California. So naturally, you got fired. Wait, she didn't get fired?
Carrie will remain Miss California, very importantly.
So after all this, Donald Trump, who never compromised a dollar for the sake of a principle, did not suddenly kick this publicity-generating machine to the curb. And still she thinks she got punished. Oh, she assumed she didn't win the pageant because of her answer. So, that wasn't an election. It was a business decision made by a bunch of employees about another bunch of employees. They weren't electing a new pope over there. They were just expressing their corporate freedom of speech, Carrie. What the... Let's count down for this, the 2,203rd day since the previous president declared mission accomplished in Iraq. I'm Keith Olbermann. Good night and good luck. Please join us for the live edition of Countdown every weeknight at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Be there. Aloha.